Luckily for Wasp, Iron Man has finally arrived, but he doesn't fare too well either. That's not how gravity would work. If you remove the gravitational field from something, they would just stay in the same spot because, you know, there's no forces working. Never mind, just go on. So Iron Man is blasted into space and Ant-Man finally decides to join the fight, becoming Giant Man for the first time. And promptly gets knocked out for the first time as well. So much for that. Graviton decides to display his power by lifting an entire section of New York City out of the water and holding it in midair. Thor, however, has recovered and knocks Graviton aside, which causes the city to fall again. Good job, buddy. He flies under and catches the city, lowering it down more gently and apparently saving everyone. Pretty sure that in reality most of the buildings would have collapsed and pretty much everyone would be dead. I mean, that and the sheer water displacement would have caused a super tidal wave. Okay, we'll just say everything's fine. The hit also frees Iron Man from Graviton's power, allowing him to return to the fight. All four heroes confront the villain, but wouldn't you know it, he's still too much for them. Then he goes and says this.
I'm the strongest one there is!
Do I even have to tell you?
Stronger than all of you! I'm the strongest one there is! You sure about that?
The Hulk knocks the fight back to an empty shipping yard, and Graviton simply increases the gravity to pin everyone to the ground, creating a whirlwind of storage crates just to show off, I guess. This just gets the Hulk angrier, and as he is wont to say, you won't like him when he's angry. Ant-Man shrinks down and gets a nearby group of flying ants to sneak past Graviton's defensive and distract him long enough for the Hulk to do what he does best. Everyone cuts loose with their biggest attacks, Iron Man with his Unibeam, Giant Man throwing a whole cargo ship, and Thor— Jesus Christ! I was gonna joke about Ant-Man killing everyone on the boat, but— whoa! That does it. Everyone in New York is dead. Totally, stone cold dead. Cadaverific. If not from the earthquakes, the collapsing buildings, or the super tidal waves, then this. This has to have done it.
But no, everyone's fine except Graviton, who's brought back into custody. The problem now is that all the escaped villains are at large, and none of the heroes are individually strong enough to take them out. So they decide to team up, and the Avengers are born.
As far as openings go, this was pretty awesome. Unlike Teen Titans, which we'll talk about another time, they don't try to play with shock value they haven't earned yet. It's just a really good fight against an almost unbeatable enemy, and through working together they manage to win the day. As far as openings go, that's a great message, and this is a solid opening.
Now there are two Avengers that didn't make an appearance in this episode, Captain America and Black Panther. Cap comes in the same way he does in the comics. The Avengers find him frozen in an iceberg and they wake him up. Black Panther comes to the Avengers for help in freeing his people, the Wakandans. We also don't see much of Hawkeye either, but he joins the team after proving his innocence to S.H.I.E.L.D. As with most of these team shows, character quality can vary. I've already said Iron Man is pretty much his movie self. Captain America has done pretty well too. He's a leader, he supports his team like a good soldier should, and he even manages to win over the Hulk. However, they don't sugarcoat the fact that his world and everyone he knows is gone. They take time out of the show to explain that he knows it. Hawkeye is comic relief, but more in a snarky, sarcastic way than compared to characters like The Flash or Beast Boy.
Well, you've just got all the answers, don't you?
Thor has a bit of a superiority complex coming in as an Asgardian, and he has to work to get over that.
The mortals. I am needed here.
Hulk is the Hulk. What else do you have to say?
Then we have Ant-Man, and he is fantastic. As Giant Man, he usually just gets knocked out, but when he uses his wit and cunning as Ant-Man, he's able to save the day, and that's a great message about brains over brawn. He's also a pacifist, and much more concerned about peaceful measures against villains than just straight face punches, and that works both for and against him at times. Just don't push him too far, especially if you're threatening Wasp. Speaking of Wasp, the weakest characters have got to be her and Black Panther. I don't remember anything about Black Panther. He is just there to fill up space. Wasp is just the girl and is just defined by her relationship with Ant-Man, which irritates me. That should not be the lead female's only memorable characteristic. Also, as good as the animation usually is, there are some pretty obvious slip-ups from time to time. Like, look at Graviton here. He looks huge! He looks like somebody just drew him over a completed clip of Giant Man. And here, is it just me, or does Tony Stark got an epic derp face going on?
But those are each only for a few seconds, and the rest of the animation is fine, and it can be pretty awesome sometimes. So, let's bottom line this. How was Avengers? Yeah, it's flawed, but it exceeds every expectation that I put forward for it. If you're looking for a superhero team show on par with, well, Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, or you just want to get psyched for the Avengers movie, I totally recommend checking this out. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I'll see you next time.
My lord, I failed.
On the contrary, you performed most admirably, my friend.
But he still lives.
Oh, you believed I needed him to die? No, not quite yet. I'm afraid you're the one I needed killed.
But why?
Because when you die in my universe, I gain your power. And I believe there's some